Hello everyone, Nev here, and this is another installment of my spread creation videos. And yeah, so what I kind of planned to do, or the idea going into this, because there's barely an idea here, I kind of want to, so I was inspired by the Lakshmi Oracle here. I'm using this one as my main oracle this month because September for me this year will be dedicated to Lakshmi. So this is the main oracle I'm using. But I just put up the video walking through this deck, and I actually filmed it last month, but it went up this month. And when I was rewatching it, I remembered all the stuff that I had, all the pairings I had tried out with it, and it really inspired me to see if I could come up with some devotional spreads. And I have done devotional spreads before. All of last year for 2023, I had a set spread for each of the moon phases, the four main moon phases in each month. And I have the same sort of thing this year, but I changed it. But last year, so each full moon was dedicated to the Irish goddess Bridge, or Bridget, or Brigitte, however you want to pronounce it. So I had a set spread for that, and if I remember during editing, I'll put what spread I used for that on the screen. And I used lots of different systems, decks, things like that. And then for each new moon, I did a reading with on Morrigan, and I will leave the spread that I created for that up on the screen. So you can pause these at any time and do those spreads if you want. So for the first quarter, I believe the first quarter was with either the first quarter or the third quarter was with Ondagda, and I'll leave a screenshot of that spread on the screen now. And the other one I did with Lou, and that one was much more simple, and that is the spread there. So I had a devotional spread for each of my four main deities that I honor. Yeah, and I would like to eventually create more spreads specific to deities, and even those four deities I would like to create more spreads for, and maybe have a little notebook or spread book or whatever of devotional spreads, or yeah. Anyway, so I don't really have any spread specific to Lakshmi or Ganesha or any other deity really. And I thought, and I was just inspired by it, and I was also inspired by pairing this deck with, this is the Crystal Visions, which is the main, my main Lakshmi deck, tarot deck. And it wasn't the best pairing with this. The colors look nice, but I think the border on this one sort of, it didn't exactly match the cards in here. But still, this is my main Lakshmi deck, and so I still like them together. But I really liked, this is the Prisma Visions tarot, and I really liked this with Lakshmi. So I'm going to pull all of this out. Oh, and I also have the star seeds because this was something that I was messing with in the unboxing video for this. So I kind of want to bring this back in and see how that works. So I'm going to get all of these out, and we can kind of have a play here. Okay, so I pulled all of these out here. And I'm going to try to keep it to these four decks as I experiment with this. But I might bring in the Star Codes Astro Oracle to kind of bring an astrology element to this. And plus, I would like to use this deck a bit more, or astrology decks in general. So I might pull this out and we can explore that a little bit. And the other possibility, I won't bring this out for this video, but when I was going through the Lakshmi Oracle, I was also pairing it with a Lenormand deck. Sorry about my voice just now. I was pairing it with a Lenormand deck, and I kind of was experimenting with that a little bit in that video, and that is something I want to explore more, especially since there are 36 cards in here. So, and there's 36 cards in Lenormand, so that might be a fun thing to experiment with in the future. But for the purpose of purposes of this video, I kind of just want to keep it simple. So I think what I want to try to do first is just come up with a general layout, and then sort of come up with meanings for those positions. So let me see. We'll pull out any of these cards. In fact, let's find the Lakshmi cards just so that we can, because this is a deck of many different Hindu deities. It's not just Lakshmi. It's called the Lakshmi Oracle because the creator was kind of had as a devotional act, created this deck in Lakshmi's honor. So it's called the Lakshmi deck, but it's not specifically about Lakshmi. So yeah, it's very interesting. So it is a very general Hindu deity deck. Here's the Lakshmi card. So we'll keep that one out just for examples for this spread. And I mean, that's also something we could do for these devotional spreads. We can pull out the card that's specific to that deity if it's a multi-deity deck or something like that. So I could pull out the Lakshmi card and create a spread specifically around that. Like this is the devotional card. We could do that. Like here's Sri Rama. We could do something for that. There was also there's like Parvati. So if we wanted to do a Parvati specific spread, or Durga, etc. So yeah, so that's one idea. I'm just pulling this one out as an example. We could say we pulled it out intentionally, or we could, this could have been one of the devotional cards we just pulled. So I do like the idea of using this Star Seeds Oracle here. It's not one I use a lot. It's kind of it's a very wooey deck, you know, but some of the little sayings on here are something that you could apply, and then some of them are like extra wooey, like connect to the blue flame, which is the light of pure love within you, and it's like it's a little cheesy or a little like interesting. But yeah, but there's this is a very hit or miss sort of deck, but it does have a very wooey, star-seedy, very spiritual vibe. So I want to try to use it for that sort of purpose, and see if we could use this for this sort of thing here. And I don't know, most of these are not bad at all. Yeah, I'm just doing a quick look through, and yeah, this is not bad at all. I think I could work with this, especially with using the Lakshmi Oracle here. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking through to see if there's any other of these that really stand out as here we go. Here's Starseed. Raise the vibration of the planet through your radiant, lovely light. That's kind of stupid. Sorry. Blue Star. Follow the light of your inner compass, the blue star. It will lead you to the truth that resides within your soul. So, I mean, one thing I could do, I just could take these ones out, you know, take that out and take off the blue flame one right there. Oh, oops. I think that's all of the, like, really, I don't know how to call that. Earth Guide. I don't know. I'll take that one out too. It's just, some of these are they're a little bit too much for me. I don't want to take away other people's experiences with it, though. So I'll take those out and just, you know, we'll stick with the ones that are not so weird. All right, and I'll pick a random one to just put right here. Inner Alchemy. Inner alchemy is achieved when you react to fear with love. I mean, I guess that's a message we can take. So I'm just kind of laying out cards and then coming up with a meaning and seeing what I like. So the Crystal Visions is a deck that I love to use with Lakshmi. And I can't exactly explain why. It just gives me Lakshmi vibes, Lakshmi energy. And I've always... I don't know. I've just always connected this deck to her, even though this is, it's very, I guess, Eurocentric, you know, and so not quite Hindu vibes here, but there's something about this deck that I've just always enjoyed using with Lakshmi, and so yeah. So let's see, since this is a devotional spread to Lakshmi, and this is my general Lakshmi deck, let's see how many, like, I could pull out... because I want to also use this deck because this is a good one and it just paired really well with this. So I'm just trying to see how, what I might do for something like this. So we could do this sort of layout, and I don't mind doing something really large. That doesn't bother me. Let's see, we can make it even on both sides. I don't know how I like that. We could do just 2 here. Let's see, and maybe something like that. So we could do something like that. And it does not have to be even or anything, but and then we could do like 2 cards here. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Let's see. I mean, that's interesting. It's certainly an interesting layout, but it feels incomplete like that. So maybe we could add in the Star Codes card then, just a random one of these, and I'll just pick one. Like, I don't know. That's, I mean, it evens things out a little bit, but I don't know how I feel about things being evened out with something like this. I don't know. All right. Okay, I was fiddling around with this a little bit, and this is kind of a nice setup here. It's nice and even. So what we could do, we could pull out this card first. Let's say it's intentionally pulled out. A Lakshmi, this is we are doing a devotional spread to Lakshmi. And then I'm trying to decide, should I pull this one next as just kind of bringing a theme to the reading. And I think yes. This one will bring, this could be the second card that comes out. This is the devotional card. Then this is more the theme of the reading. And then I feel like these ones and then those, like 1, 2, 3. So I feel like the top has got to be some sort of message, and this could be a Lenormand too. I mean, we could switch that out with a Lenormand, and that's Lakshmi's message at the end. I'm really like trying to just play with this. So we'll come up with this spread right now, and then we'll just sort of come up with some meanings for each of these cards. So first card is the devotional focus, the theme of the reading. All right. Okay, so I'm having some troubles just coming up with spread positions for these cards around the devotional card, because I feel like they should be important. And the top, it could be like these 3 cards could be read as one sort of thing, one message from Lakshmi, or we could do a simple past, present, future, that sort of feeling there, and then focus these more on Lakshmi's message. So like a struggle, a strength and advice, like a moving forward sort of card. We could do something like that. That I kind of like, a 3-card thing. And then something on these sides a bit more devotional. Like maybe we could pull these ones before these 2 cards, and this is sort of a like a practical sort of element, and then bringing it to Lakshmi. I don't know. I'm kind of coming up with this. And I also pulled out the Spread Crafters deck here. This is the Quest expansion. And I've pulled this out just to have a flip through real quick of these cards and seeing if there's anything that really stands out to me for how I might interpret these positions. So I'm going to flip through this off camera real quick, and I'll come back in a moment. Oh boy, this is a lot going on here. I was just pulling out any card that sort of drew me in to what we could be having going on here. So yeah, so I'm starting off. I was really called to this Destiny card as a sort of this is because this is a devotional spread, like we are very specifically talking about something that's devotional. And so I'm not really looking for spread positions having to do with mundane life, our mundane life. You know what I mean? I'm looking more for something on the spiritual side of things. Like this is a strengthening of the spiritual connection with the deity of choice, or the entity of choice, or whatever it is that you're creating a spread for, a devotional spread for. This is really about the devotional act here. So yeah, this is intentionally a very spiritual spread. So I'm trying not to find things that are a little too focused on our everyday lives, or something like that. Like I'm trying to stay away from the mundane, if that makes sense. So I pulled out this Destiny card, and of course, I'm using the Spread Crafters Quest deck is kind of video game-esque, gaming sort of themed. So I mean, some of that, I'm doing a very serious spread, but this feels like a very unserious deck. But I don't know, it's fine. I think there's a lot here that you can really work with. So Destiny called out to me, and then there were other cards in here that sort of had that same sort of spiritual feeling. Celestial Blessing, North Star had a very I don't know, celestial, devotional, spiritual vibe to me. So yeah, these were the main ones, but this one was also pretty close behind, Mana Potion, because it's like, how can you increase your magic, your intuition, and your creativity? So that's sort of, these 4 cards were calling to me as a very spiritual sort of thing here. So I was thinking that maybe we can start off with a call to destiny, or what she's calling us to do, and then I feel like this card should represent some sort of struggle. Now I have I had Mission Log, which was pretty similar to that Destiny, but Destiny just feels more spiritual for this purpose. So I feel like Mission Log would be something for a different spread that's a bit more mundane. So I'll take that one out. So battle I had here, I mean, this is a strong word, but it's a general obstacles or shadows to overcome. I mean, that's what it says here. So I think this might be the general difficulties in going forth with this calling, what Lakshmi is calling us to do. So what struggles, what might we have, or what struggles do we currently have? What shadows do we need to overcome? I think I like that first part there. What shadows need to be overcome? And then the last one, like we could do a simple strength card, or like tapping into our strengths. What strengths do we have to accomplish this? Like this is the goal. Destiny, the lighting is a bit, let me kind of close these they're sheer curtains, so I don't know how much that's really affecting this, but so, and focus here. So this is the calling. This is where we might struggle with it, and then the final card would be where our strengths lie. So yeah, so it's almost like the action is first, and then it's like, what would we struggle with, and where will we find the strength? So there's that. Mana Potion could have also worked there. How can you increase your magic? I feel like this is a bit more specific, though, and maybe would be focused for a spread that is talking about ritual and spell work and things like that. Like I'm obviously, this is a game sort of thing, but I'm taking it more literally. So I will take that one out for this one. So we've got the destiny, the battle, our strengths. I'm still not 100% sure on the word strength for this, but I mean, it's got the same meaning. Now, these two cards, I pulled out Sidekick as one of the cards that's like a little less spiritual sounding, but it's like your loyal helper, follower, and cheerleader, someone or something that can serve as your resource and support you on your journey. There's something about this writing against this image that I'm having a hard time reading. So I pulled this out because I was sort of thinking of it as like a how can Lakshmi help in this endeavor? Like this is the calling. What I'll struggle with, where my strengths lie, and then Lakshmi, how Lakshmi can help. But I don't know. There's something about the wording of this that I'm not quite liking, but I like the idea of this. We could switch that out with Celestial Blessing, which maybe has a better feeling for this sort of spread. So Celestial Blessing, what is the gift that has been bestowed into your core? How have you been blessed with luck, protection, and magic? What restores your gratitude, your faith, and your hope? And I think these are really good questions or positions for this position. It's it's a power up. So it's like how can Lakshmi help me achieve this? And then finally, the final card feels like it should be some sort of guiding card. And I pulled out 2 cards for this. I have Compass, which is what points you in the right direction when you are astray, what helps you stay on track and on course. How can you check if you are heading the right way? I mean, that's pretty straightforward, and I feel like these 2 cards are straight from Lakshmi. Like they're intrinsically connected to the middle card here. So, I mean, that's a possibility. The other one I pulled out, which I felt had a similar vibe, but maybe more spiritual, was North Star. Ooh, focus. So what forces are guiding you and steering you toward the right path? What guides you toward your purpose and your light? So, like, I don't know. Because the thing is, I like what this is saying more than what this is saying, because this is more saying like, what is guiding you, you know, and we already know what's guiding us. We've got the center card here telling us what's guiding us. So we already know. So that's kind of where the wording kind of loses me a little bit for this. Whereas with the compass card, maybe it's a little less spiritual sounding, and battle is a little, and strength. These 2 are a little less spiritual sounding, I guess. But I like the wording of this more. What points you in the right direction when you are astray? What helps you stay on track and on course? How can you check if you are heading the right way? I don't know. It is still pretty similar to this, but there's something about the wording on this that that I like more. So I'm going to put compass there. But North Star, I like the term North Star for this. But anyway, I think we'll stick with this. So this is the general layout of it. And, oop, it's not focused. Sorry about that. So I like this. So I'm going to keep this to the side here as sort of a reminder. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out a sample reading. Or, you know what? Let's not pull out the sample reading. We'll just go with the cards that are here. I mean, I already pulled them, so this really is not a sort of a sample reading. But like, so for this, so Lakshmi is our focus. Inner alchemy. Inner alchemy is achieved when you react to fear with love. So that's kind of the general thing we need to remember when we're doing this spread. I mean, we can change it out with something else just to see. I mean, this really is just a sample spread here. So, well, let's see what this one is. Observation, expand your consciousness. Oh, is it focusing? There we go. Expand your consciousness by observing the divine matrix of life. Yeah. There's something like these star cards can be a little much. Gaia, connect to the pulse of Mother Earth. I'm going to take that one out. We're not going to do without because that one's too wooey. Strength, you are being guided by the cosmos. Stay strong. A positive outcome is assured. So let's go with that one. Yeah, the Star Seeds deck is one that it's very hit or miss. I do want to try to work with it more though. So, all right. So let's pretend we pulled out this Lakshmi card, and I'll pull. All right. I really am just making this up as I go along. I'm sorry. I keep changing things. So we've pulled out the Lakshmi card. This is a devotional spread. We're kind of looking to Lakshmi on how we can devote time and energy to her right now. And then we kind of pull out a theme of the reading, some sort of message to keep in mind as we read these cards. Strength, you are being guided by the cosmos. Stay strong. A positive outcome is assured, which is good, connected to Lakshmi there. So then, what is our destiny? What's Lakshmi calling us to do? What's Lakshmi calling us to do right now in this devotional act? All right. What is Lakshmi calling us to do? I have the Seven of Swords. Ooh, interesting. So there's kind of this sense of clever. Clever is one of the key words I have for the Seven of Swords. So what she's kind of calling us to do is, and then with this imagery, I mean, I got to bring it up real close so we can see, because this is one of the mini, I have the mini version of the Prisma Visions. So Seven of Swords. Oh, and I just realized this is the Prisma Visions and this is the Cosma Visions. I mean, not Cosma, this is the Crystal Visions. So it's kind of funny. So the Seven of Swords. It's a card that's very, it's kind of harsh. It's kind of like quick cutting. And so I'm thinking about the Six of Swords that's right before this. And that one's kind of about moving on, and it's a very painful thing, and it's a very like, I'm solemnly moving on. I'm leaving things behind, and it's a slow process. And I'm just thinking about the person on the boat, and they're kind of running away from their problems. Maybe that's a bit more of a shadow way of looking at it, or it's a sort of painful moving on, kind of like the Eight of Cups too. But with the Eight of Cups, it feels like it's leaving something that really served you well, but is now over, and it's much more difficult to move on from it. But there's more of a sense of contentment moving on in that Eight of Cups, because it's like, okay, now's the right time to leave this behind and move on to better things. Whereas the Six of Swords is a bit more of a, like, I'm not paying attention to, like, I'm just trying to forget things. I'm trying to move on and forget, sort of thing. And it's a bit more solemn, at least in my mind. Now the Seven of Swords, though, is a bit more cutting. Like, it is like, it's like, I won't say it's blunt because it's sharp. It's a sharp cutting off of things. And it's taking what we can get and running off with that sort of thing, and which can be interpreted in some readings as something a bit more shadowy, like stealing, thievery, things like that, like grabbing what you can get and running off, sneaky sort of behaviors. That's one way of looking at the Seven of Swords. And another way is a sort of cleverness. You're really swiftly acting and grabbing what you can take, grabbing the swords you can take, and being very strategic but quick with it. That's one way, and it's sort of it's a swift moving on. It's a quickly cutting ties and taking only what's necessary, and being smart about that. So that's kind of the general calling of Lakshmi for right now, is to cut off certain ties, and these may be, and it may be something difficult. Who knows? We'll see what the challenge is. So the next card is the Battle. So it's a calling to be more clever, to yeah, I'm trying to come up with some wording here. Oh, one interpretation that I might have for the Seven of Swords is a sort of speaking up. And I'm maybe connecting that also with the Seven of Wands as a sort of defensive thing, but the Seven of Swords is a bit more, it's not really defensive, it's more of a standing up. And so that makes more sense for something that's a bit more devotional. So the devotional calling is to speak up and speak more, and to say what's on our mind, even if it's something that's not everyone wants to hear. Yeah, I think that makes more sense for this type of reading. So I'm going to go with that interpretation. So where would the battle lie in this? Shadows to overcome. So where would the shadows be with this? And we've got the 10 of Wands here. So it's maybe a heavy burden for that. Maybe the aftermath of speaking our mind, or... Yeah, because this is devotional. I keep going a more mundane in my mind on this, because that's just kind of how I am personality-wise. So my mind keeps going on mundane things. So Lakshmi is calling us to speak our mind more, to speak up, and to, and not just spiritually, but also mundane, but like to sort of make our voice heard, and it could be in a spiritual sense here. And maybe the challenge there is potentially taking on more than we can handle, and maybe in a spiritual context, it's maybe promising things that we can't, we're not sure that we can promise, and promising certain devotional acts that we're not sure that we can maintain. I mean, I think I like where that's going. So where would our strength lie? Strengths that we need to pay attention to. Where can we feel empowered? I think empowered is a better keyword for this. So where can we be more empowered? We got the King of Swords, I think, which I think really connects with that. So I think that's pretty much saying that, like, don't worry so much about this. Like, there is a sort of speaking up and taking and being more forthright about our intentions and where we're going with our spirituality. We're worried that we may be taking on too much, that we're not going to be able to handle what we have. But the King of Swords, this is the calling. The calling is a Seven of Swords, and the strength is the King of Swords. To me, that's really saying that we've got this, and we have the abilities to go this route. So I won't dwell on that too much. We'll go on to the next one. So the Celestial Blessing. This is the Divine Blessing. I think that I like that a little bit more for this particular reading. But all right. So the blessing on that from Lakshmi here. Ooh, the 10 of Cups. I mean, she's totally here with us. And yeah, I don't think there's much more to read into that. I feel like she's really here to help out with this endeavor, and we don't really have much to fear with Lakshmi here. Her love and protection and the strength that she's adding to this is really helping. Like we've got this. A positive outcome is assured, and I think we really see that here. All right, and then finally the compass. So how can you? I'm looking at the phrasing of this. How can you check if you are headed the right way? I think. I think I did really like North Star better than this, but I don't know. I think I just liked the, I think, you know what, I'll forego the names of these, and I'll just call this the guiding star. So, so the guidance and the guidance moving forward on this from Lakshmi. So that's what we'll call this the guidance. Knight of Cups. Ooh, okay. Wow. I find this very interesting because we have these cards up here. The two swords cards are very severe. They're very because they're swords that are very severe, and it's kind of that harsh sort of energy. But then the two cards surrounding Lakshmi are very gentle and very emotional. Sorry about the dog, by the way, if you're hearing her. So, I mean, I feel like in this particular devotional reading, Lakshmi is just adding the emotional support that we need for this. And with the Knight of Cups, it's very rosy. It's very, I wouldn't say following passions. It's because that's not quite it. Passions would be a bit more wands energy. I feel like the Knight of Cups it's very romantic, and I really just feel like these two cards here are just saying, is Lakshmi saying, don't worry about this so much. You've got this. And yeah, so this ended up being an actual reading. I kind of went back and forth on whether I was going to pull out or just read the simple cards I had at the beginning, but I ended up just doing a reading. And I like the way this worked. I feel like this is something we could use with a different deity, or instead of intentionally pulling out the Lakshmi card, I could shuffle this and pull out any of the cards here. Let's go with this one just because. So Bhuma Devi, we could do the same sort of thing in the same sort of layout, and this could be just a general deity layout, because I obviously I would use different decks, but I could pull out some of my like any sort of oracle for a different deity, and I could have the devotional card in the center, the devotional focus, and then this is give or take. We could take this one out. We could do it as just this. But something like this is a little helpful because it does add just kind of a phrase, just kind of an anchoring sort of phrase, which, take it or leave it, So we could do something like this. And I love the size of these just, they're really nice. And so I think I want to have something like this. It's just better done, if that makes sense. Just a sort of anchoring phrase for the focus of the reading. Anyway, so it's not required, but it's an option. So yeah, I feel like you could do the same thing, this reading, with these sorts of positions for any sort of deity, any set of decks. And we didn't even need to use 3 different decks. I mean, you could just use one deck. Like, let me pull these out here. Let's say, I'll go with the Crystal Visions because it's right here. Let's say we did the focus card right there, the devotional card, main devotion, and I'll bring that down a bit. And then we had the calling, or the destiny, or the calling, the battle, or the shadow of the situation where we might struggle. And the strength of the situation, or what was the other word that I used? The empowerment. How will the empowerment of it. And then the last 2 cards are the blessing, or the celestial blessing from the devotional entity, the entity we're devoting to, and then finally a sort of a guiding star card on how to move forward with that. So I mean, there's using that with just a tarot deck, and it kind of comes out as a six card reading there, with just a tarot deck. And then just because I have it here, we could do a more we could do this as less so on a specific entity, and we could do something from the oracle, or I mean the astrology deck here. Let's say we have this one as the main focus, and this could be a bit more less spiritual here maybe, and be a bit more of a study, and then do something like that. And I'll just grab this, and then we have what is our midheaven in our chart calling us to do, and we can pull a card for that. And then where might we struggle with that? And actually, I think I kind of like this. So I might actually do something like this in the future, because I have been wondering how I'm going to use these astrology cards, and it's something I want to focus on. And then, of course, the final card would be our not embrace, what was the key word I said? Empowered. How we'll feel empowered to move forward. So it was generally a strength card. And then how our midhaven, what gifts our midhaven gives to us, and how then how to move, to guide, how it might guide us forward, the gift it gives us, and how it'll guide us forward. So I actually quite like this. I might use this in the future. So this really is just a play experiment here, because I kind of went off on different tangents. So yeah, so I'm already more than 40 minutes into this, so there's more I could do. I think I want to maybe in the future do a few more sort of devotional spread ideas, but as of right now, I think this was pretty fun. So let me know what you think of this spread layout, if you liked it, if you want to do something like this, or make a video or something, please let me know and tag me in it. I would love to see your sort of devotional spreads or astrology spreads using something like this. Yeah. All right. So that was fun. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.